want to hold my teddy bear?
No, Lily.
Oh, I'm in hell! Ah! I'm burning! Help me!
There's a lot of bad Christmas films. Lots and lots and lots. But there's one that has a well-deserved spot in the Hall of Fame, and it goes by the name of The Christmas Tree.
How did you get that?
I just went to the kitchen.
And Mrs. Mavota didn't catch you?
Not when you go through the window.
There's just so much to take in here. The designs of the characters, the animation, oh my god, the voice acting. Seriously, this movie might have the worst voice acting that I've ever seen. It might even be worse than Joshua and the Promised Land.
I want you close by at all times.
I can't do that.
This movie is one of the most requested things I've been asked to review, so it's only fitting that it's the first thing that I cover this month for my Christmas crap series. I've been wanting to do something like this for a while now, so here we go.
Here you go, Mrs. Mavilda.
The Christmas Tree is an animated, Christmas movie that aired on television back in 1991. It made its debut on USA Network and was only televised once. The studio behind the movie goes by the name of Flammarion Ferreira Films. God, I screwed that up. I looked into their filmography, and this movie was so bad that they never made anything afterwards. The main person responsible for this mess is the same one whose name is in the title of the studio, Flammarion. I honestly thought that this was the Pokemon.
Flareon, deploy!
Flammarion herself actually has quite the extensive resume and has been working in the animation industry for quite some time. The Smurfs, Tiny Toons, She-Ra, and she currently works as a background painter on Pen Zero Part-Time Hero. I tried to find more info about her inspiration for the Christmas Tree, but I couldn't find anything. From the looks of it, the movie was a side project that went horribly wrong, and I can only imagine that she isn't too proud of it and wants to cover her tracks. I mean, it would be a shame if future employers found out that Flammarion Ferrari is responsible for this film.
I just want you to know that this wasn't my idea, Mr. Mayor.
So let's just jump right into this. I know I usually do a little rundown, but I want to go into this blind. That way it's more shocking to you all. So we start off with an intro that rolls out the movie credits. After that, we have a soulless narrator giving us a rundown about the movie. We're then told by the narrator that this is an orphanage, and the lady in charge, Miss Mavilda, is super evil and is cruel to the children who live there.
But after he left a donation collected by the townspeople for the orphanage, Mrs. Mavilda would immediately take off the child's clothes.
The intro goes on for a bit longer, but I'm gonna skip it. It's pretty repetitive, and is just gonna tell what's about to happen anyway. I mean, they straight up use footage later on in the film.
She used all that donated money in an irresponsible way. Mrs. Mavilda, as usual, uses the money for her personal pleasure.
Okay, so we actually start off with this family called the Kendalls. They just arrived in town and are looking for work. So what do? Why, they go to the mayor, of course.
The mayor also said that he would arrange for the man's wife and children to stay at the orphanage, where they could get room and board.
So these shark-eyed parents are given jobs by the mayor. The father gets to work at the lumber mill, and the mother gets to work at the orphanage. And for some reason, the family has to live at the orphanage.
Oh, you.
We come from the mayor's.
Really? That was your best take? This guy sounds like Microsoft Sam.
I'd better go now. Take good care of yourself and the children, Judy.
Miss Mavilda then just goes off on the mother, and she just stands there taking it.
You have to get up at 7, prepare breakfast, feed the children at 8, then clean and wash. Don't forget dinner at 6 so the children will be in bed by 7:30.
Stand up for yourself. Tell this lady to f*** off. Ooh, I'm sorry, frick off. So for some reason, the kids of these two are forced to share a room with the orphans. We then get this really awkward scene where the new kids lock eyes with the orphans and start making these unsettling faces to one another.
Want to hold my teddy bear?
No, Lily.
We then hit a cornerstone of the movie, and that's the voice acting. It's bad already with the adults, but the kids are on a completely different level. Just listen.
My teddy bear has only one arm, but my mom says Santa will bring a new arm for him at Christmas.
We're then introduced to the thing that carries the title of the movie, though they give it a different name in the actual film.
Mrs. Hopewell is a tree. That tree. She takes care of us.
Oh Lord, save me from these child voice actors. When done right, kid voice actors can be a lot of fun.
Ah, clever idea. Spider-Man's weakness is that he cares too much. Good work, Smythe. Quickly, change my diaper.
But then you got this.
I wish I could read so I could read her a story from this old book that I found.
Wait, hold on a second. You have glasses, but you can't read. Well, that must have been an interesting eye exam. Little girl, if you don't mind, please read the first line. Apple. So Miss Hopewell is the tree, and the kids, for some reason, believe that she has magical powers, that she'll give them parents and a home someday. We then meet some strange dog who hangs out at the orphanage.
We shouldn't have him in here.
I knew we should have never shown him to your mother. Adults are always the same, always ruining everything.
Okay. So the mom decides to put her carpentry skills to work and builds a playground for the kids near the tree. Don't get me wrong, this is impressive, but the last thing I want to slide down is a wooden slide. Enjoy your splinters, kids.
Ow, ow, ow.
So all of the orphans are getting along with the mom. Even the mayor is impressed. But why does he have to pull his car up to the orphanage like some kind of stalker?
They really are getting along.
Oh, and I love this part. So the kids and the mom are sleeping under the tree, but the movie decides to include a laughing sound effect, which doesn't make any sense.
They really developed a special feeling towards Judy. They really developed a special feeling.
So the mayor drops off money every so often for the orphans. And I'm not talking about a check. He brings actual bags of coins, which is very inconvenient.
Little did he know that the money was destined to pursuits other than bettering the lives of the children.
So here's something that's kind of creepy. Mrs. Mavilda dresses the kids up in order to fool the mayor, to make the guy think that she's doing a good job. In reality, she keeps the money and she uses it for gambling.
Here goes the children's money again.
Wow, lady, you are human garbage. The mayor then shows up again to give Christmas money for the kids, and then he just stands there talking for like a minute with his stupid robot voice.
I've got enough money here to get the children new clothes.
12 seconds later.
I just gave Mrs. Mavilda the money there so she can buy new clothes for the children.
2 hours later.
I've been noticing that the children have become very fond of you.
Mom then tells the kids about the good news and how they're going to get some Christmas gifts this year.
That way I can make some Christmas stockings to hang on the fireplace.
Red velvet for stockings? What's that?
Okay, so the kid voice acting is bad, but this pitched up voice is not helping. And you want to know how bad these kids have it? They don't even know what Christmas is. They don't know about stockings or Santa or, get this, Christmas trees.
People go out and buy their Christmas tree.
Christmas tree? What's that?
This is a f***ing stupid movie. So for the third time in the movie, Mavilda is gambling away the kids' money.
That's right, Mavilda. Now you're cooking with gas.
Good Lord, these wiping transitions.
Well, Helen, dear, what do you think, Mavilda? No!
Wait, hold up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Okay. Yeah, she's cheating.
What a hangover.
Oh, whew. Intentional or not, that was pretty funny. So Miss Mavilda calls up Judy and proceeds to have a stroke.
You You don't want the mayor to see them without new clothes.
How can you dare to? All right! Now you know. Now you go get those.
This lady can change her emotions on a dime. So the kids are told that they're not getting any Christmas presents. I love this scene in particular because Judy's body just keeps moving, but her eyes stay still. It's very unsettling.
You know the new clothes we promised you? Well, I'm afraid you're not going to be getting them.
So get this. Miss Mavilda is upset that Judy knows so much about her schemes and decides to get rid of her. And how does she go about doing this? By framing her.
I want you to place something valuable in her purse while she's in your house picking up the package. That shouldn't be too difficult for you with your fast fingers, should it, Mel? Fast fingers.
So the kids find out that Mavilda is trying to get rid of Miss Judy. Mavilda's lower body actually overhears the kids talking about this, and she goes to confront them.
And there's nothing we could do to stop that mean witch.
So, that's what you think of me.
Oh man, what a beautiful animation error. So far, the animation in the movie has been pretty static, but then it just hits us with this terrifying face out of nowhere.
Mouth has already told you. I'm cutting her down for firewood.
Jesus Christ!
Why did they make this change to Mavilda? It doesn't make any sense. So the kids come up with a plan to get help. From who, you ask? From freaking Santa Claus.
Go where? To get help from Santa Claus. Why me?
These kids are terrible. There's no emotion in their voices. It's all the same.
Why me? Because you're the only one that knows where his office is.
So it turns out that Judy wasn't able to get the package and drove back to the orphanage. At the same time, her kids are riding on a sleigh up to the North Pole, which, you know, is totally plausible.
Who's that? Who's in there? You? It's me, Pappy.
My buddy said that these kids sound like they're drunk, and I really couldn't agree more.
I couldn't let my brother come alone. I guess you're right. It's better being with someone when it's a long way.
Fortunately, a bear shows up, and the kids run for their lives. Well, the girl does. The boy is literally frozen in place, and his hair doesn't even move. Just look at it. We then get this incredible fight sequence with some of the greatest sound effects in movie history. So the little girl dies, and the boy is all on his own. Judy then finds out that her children are missing, and takes the news pretty well.
Pappy and Lily aren't here.
Where are they?
Lily, Pappy, and Licorice went to the North Pole.
You what?
Mavilda then freaks out on Judy because her kids are missing. Like, this lady is more upset about the missing children than the actual mom.
If the mayor finds out about this, I'm really in trouble. He's gonna blame me and I'm gonna lose my job.
So Mavilda, out of pure spite, calls her friend up to come and chop down the tree, because she just straight up hates the orphans.
Frank? Do you still have that electric chainsaw of yours? These children are gonna have their best Christmas present yet.
Judy has a moment where she stares into the night sky and hears the disembodied cries of her children. It's actually really funny. Look, you got 5 of them you can pick right you know what? Never mind. Those kids are defected. But there's no more time for staring. The tree is about to be chopped down, and Judy jumps into action.
What do you think you're doing?
Nobody cuts Mrs. Hopewell until we talk to the mayor.
We come from the mayor's.
Mavilda really doesn't give a damn. She tells the guy to just come at the kids with a chainsaw. Thank God the mayor shows up to stop them.
What is the meaning of this?
Oh, Mr. Mayor, we're so glad to see you. You couldn't have come at a better time.
The boy also shows up and tells his mom that his sister is missing.
But where's Lily? Where is she?
She's gone, Mommy.
Oh, God, what do you mean? Ray.
We come from the mayor's.
So the cat is out of the bag, and the town finds out that Mavilda is a piece of human garbage. How she is pocketing the money and wants to cut down the tree.
You
have a lot to explain to me. You'd better be there.
Mr. Mayor, tell her not to cut Mrs. Hopewell.
Miss Mavilda then freaks out and starts to threaten people with an actual chainsaw.
Oh no!
What happened? Oh, by the way, this is a friend of mine, Tree.
We then get a continuity error, as the little girl, who is missing, shows up randomly, but then disappears again, only to reappear after Santa arrives. Santa arrives.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas, everybody!
The tree gets a makeover, and we get one of the creepiest Santa faces I have ever seen.
Oh, Lily, I'm so glad to see you.
I missed all of you, Mommy.
Santa then takes off, but not before using his magic to instantly upgrade the clothes on the children. It's so sudden that it's hilarious. We then get another continuity error as the father forgets how to count.
Because you'll be busy helping me raise 9 children.
9 children? But Ray, we only have 2 children.
You're all fucking stupid! And then the dumbest thing in the movie happens. This lady, who has beaten, stolen, and threatened children with a chainsaw, is instantly forgiven. And that's it. Miss Mavilda gets away with her crimes, and everybody's cool with it.
Please come with us. Let's have a good Christmas. Merry Christmas.
And that's the movie, in all of its terrifying glory. Merry f***ing Christmas.
We come from the mayor's.
Alright, so let's go over my 5 points. First, the story. The person who wrote this was Nels Christensen. And guess what? This is the only thing they've ever worked on. Oh, what a shocker. The film itself has such a bland story that falls back on Christmas tropes. Oh no, the poor children at the orphanage won't have any presents. I think I would actually care if the characters were interesting, but they're not. Every single one of them is boring. The parents, the children, even the villain. They're all boring. Well, except for the tree. Such exceptional acting. You were in Lord of the Rings, weren't you? Oh, you should be proud. Next, the editing. Repetitive, repetitive, repetitive. There are so many moments that are reused in this movie. Now, I get it. Animation is not cheap, and sometimes you have to reuse assets and scenes to save money. But the way they do this here is incredibly obvious. This movie also suffers from very poor transitions that typically cut off the lines of other characters. You'll have one person talking and then suddenly jump to another.
I have to tell Mrs. Kindle.
Here's the address that you have to go to. Look for Mr. Mel Miller.
After that, we have dialogue. Like I already said, the characters have their lines cut off all the time. In tandem with the editing and voice acting, we are left with character dialogue that can barely hold my attention. Also, some of the characters talk for very long amounts of time, and the camera just stays on them.
Judy can be really big trouble for me. She's starting to know too much. If one wrong word slips out of her mouth, the mayor will find things out. I have to get that woman out of here. She's changing everything around here. I gotta get rid of her. But how? The mayor's gonna ask me again. Especially since it's Judy. He's grown fond of her. I know! What if I knew?
Shut up! Oh my god, I don't care!
Oh God help us. The voice acting. I really thought that Joshua and the Promised Land had the worst voice acting in an animated movie. But guys, The Christmas Tree takes that title. These orphans make Joshua's voice actor sound like he's a professional. I mean, at least he shows emotions every now and then.
Santa can do anything.
I always feel so sorry for him. See, Teddy? Santa is gonna help you.
The voice acting goes from monotone voices to high-pitched, and none of them carry any emotion. Like, give me a reason to care about this movie, about these characters. Make me feel bad about this father who is down on his luck and has to work his fingers to the bone. That context should provide some emotion, right? Right?
We come from the mayor's.
Oh, come on. Also, there's a lot of voice cracks and reading errors in the movie.
I hereby proclaim this tree here.
And finally, the animation. Oh boy, was this a rough one. Now, to be fair, I have seen worse. I truly have, and some of you know that. Why do I do this to myself? But this movie is far from perfect. The character designs are some of the worst I've ever seen. The children have these big, dead eyes. Usually, big eyes are great for emoting for your characters, but that's not happening here. If anything, it's the opposite. Also, what's with the weird lines on their mouth? I don't like this. It makes them look old.
Poor mommy. What are we gonna do, Pappy?
The colors are bland and boring too. I mean, it's Christmas. There should be green and red and stark differences with the winter snow. But we don't get that. Instead, we get brown and gray and blech. It just doesn't work.
Mommy, come here and see Mr. Topia.
At the end of the day, I see this movie as a Christmas cash grab. Think about it. If you can get your movie to become a holiday tradition, then you'll have people watching it every single year, and that's a lucrative audience to have. But it turns out that the Christmas tree didn't have what it takes to break into that market. Thank God for that. But there's some irony to this. They might have missed the mark of being one of the greats of Christmas, but I can say with 100% confidence that they are absolutely one of the worst. Speaking of which, we got 3 more of these Christmas crap reviews to go. Lucky me. I'll see you all next week.